Hi there! Welcome to the Rangers of Wrestling Impact Review. Alright, unfortunately, my co host Rose Montana could not do the show tonight, so I will be flying solo. So I really appreciate you guys joining me here tonight for this Impact review. Alright, so Impact basically started off with the entire Impact locker room backstage at Scott D'Amore's office saying that they're mad that Kenny Omega is their unified champion. And Scott D'Amore said he would address everything tonight. Don Callis said that Kenny Omega was going to be there to celebrate via Zoom. And Scott D'Amore let him know that Kenny Omega needs to show up or else he would be stripped of the title. And then it ends with Don Callis making a phone call. Then it cuts to Scott D'Amore in the ring. And he basically addresses a whole entire situation. He congratulates Kenny Omega for winning at Rebellion. At Rebellion. And he says that normally that there is a rematch clause, but this was a unique circumstance. So unfortunately, there is no rematch clause. And he says that Under Siege, there will be a number one contender, a six-way number one contenders match, and we get some qualifying matches. But he also makes it known that if Kenny Omega does not show up, he will be stripped of the Impact title. So this basically leads into Jake Something versus Chris Bay, which is the first qualifying match. So I thought this match was good. The men's entire locker room is still outside during this match. I don't know why they stayed outside for this segment. It doesn't make it very clear why they're still out there. But Chris Bay picks up the win after Rohit Raju cost Jake Something the match by holding onto his leg. Then after this, we get a backstage segment with Sami Callihan and Don Callis. He confronts Don Callis and basically says that he's coming for what's his. Then after this, we get the forgive me if I mispronounce the name, Sam Beal versus W. Morrissey. And he says that people may recognize his face, but they don't know him. And that the entire industry is filled with bad people. And that unlike everybody else, he is not afraid to admit it. And then as soon as he finishes his promo, he attacks Sam Beal. This was a very, very quick match. And of course, W. Morrissey picks up the victory. So then after this, we got a backstage segment with Gia Miller and Taylor Wilde. And Taylor Wilde says she's excited to make her return. Then Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with the K approach her and says Tennille is looking forward to tagging with her. And Taylor Wilde politely declines the offer. But Tennille and Caleb they're not getting the message. So then after this, we get the Kimberly versus the returning Taylor Wilde. Of course, because it's a returning Taylor Wilde, she picks up the victory. And after that, we get the X Division Championship match between Ace Austin and Josh Alexander. So I really, really liked this match. I thought it was a great match overall. It really showed off Ace Austin's athleticism. Honestly, it did. There was a lot of back and forth going. And I cannot believe that after everything Ace Austin did, Josh Alexander still found a way to kick out every single time. That amazed me, honestly. But like I said, I really liked this match. I thought it was a very, very good match. Despite with Mad Fullerton being on the ringside, Josh Alexander still retained. Then we get a Johnny Swinger segment. He's saying that he lost 20 grand. And that Don Callis basically tells him he will forgive the 20 grand if he can find someone to pick up Omega. Johnny Swinger agrees to this task. And Don Callis informs, I believe it's Kenny Omega, saying that an idiot Umaga is coming by to pick him up. Then you get Brian Mayers versus Matt Cardona, which in my opinion is basically a rematch of the Rebellion match. This match was okay. I didn't really do too much for me, but Matt Cardona picks up the win, which is a reversal from the Rebellion match. So far we have two qualifiers. It's Chris Bay and Matt Cardona. There's still 4 spots left. Then we got a Violent by Design promo. And Eric Young says that disapproval is the tricky thing and can make you do things. And it can make you choose the wrong path. And that the war is far from being over. And that disappointment can lead to violence, rage, and that was basically the gist of the promo. And then we get a Bullet Club segment. Basically letting us know that 2-time J Cup winner and Bullet Club member El Fantasma is coming next week, which is pretty interesting, I would say. Then after that, we get into the main event. Sami Callihan versus Eddie Edwards. Of course, they're longtime rivals. And now, throughout the whole show, Scott D'Amore had made it very clear that if Kenny Omega did not show up, he was going to be stripped of the title. And that the Under Siege match would be for the title instead of the number 1 contenders. So this match is going on. Of course, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers come out last minute and attack Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards. Now, according to Impact's Twitter, Sami Callihan won by DQ. So I guess that means that he advances into the qualifying match at Under Siege. And then as the Good Brothers come out, Finn Juice also comes out and attacks the Good Brothers. But of course, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers are standing tall in the end. Let me see. What does the chat say? It says, what would I change from tonight's show and why? I wouldn't change anything. I like tonight's show. I thought it was a good show overall. My favorite match being Josh Alexander versus Ace Austin for the X Division Championship. Overall, so we have 3. It's Chris Bay, Sami Callihan, and Matt Cardona. We still need the other 3. And we can fantasy book this all we want, honestly. But I would think Sami Callihan would win, and we're going to have Callihan versus Omega, probably against all odds, because I think they're going to hold off on Moose versus Omega at Slammiversary. It says they have the pay-per-view Under Siege. They need to invade AEW. I agree they do. And then we get a Cinnamon gives it 3 out of 10, and CR21 gives it an Impact of 5.5 out of 10. Like I said, I thought it was a good show post Rebellion. Yeah, I thought it was okay. But like I was saying, if I had to fantasy book this, I would have Sami Callihan win the 6-pack number 1 contender challenge at Under Siege, and then I would have Omega versus Callihan at Against All Odds, and then Moose versus Omega at Slammiversary. Somebody says, what about a triple threat? Callihan versus Cardona versus Omega. Cardona? No, what? How did you get Cardona involved in this? This is not. Nah. The Swerve Show Dog says a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. Okay, that's interesting. If we're going to have a triple threat, it would be Callihan versus Moose versus Omega. But I disagree. I think Moose versus Omega needs to be a one-on-one match. Just like Sami Callihan versus Omega needs to be a one-on-one match. But like I said, overall, I like the show tonight. I'd give it an ROW rating of okay, I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5. Okay. But what did everybody else think in the chat? What did you guys like about the show tonight? Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? Let me see. Did I miss anything? How would you guys... That attack needs to lead to Impact invading AEW. I agree. You know, throughout the whole entire time that throughout the entire feud leading up to Rebellion, I thought Rich Swann would show up on Dynamite and attack Omega, but he never did. I was so disappointed in that. But this time around, now that Omega is Impact TNA champion, I hope that somebody does show up and attack him. Rory 2 says a 5.5 out of 10. You guys are all giving it like right. You guys are like all split down the middle. All right. Does anybody have a favorite match for tonight? Does anybody else like Josh Alexander versus Ace Austin? Or was I the only one that liked that match? Because, like I said, that match was banger, start to finish. What did you guys think of Kenny Omega showing up at the last minute and attacking Sami Callihan and Eddie Edwards? Did you guys think that was a typical heel move? Do you guys like that? I personally thought it established him as this heel. He probably didn't want to have a clear winner for that match. But, I mean, like I said, Sami Callihan versus Omega against all odds, that'd be fantastic. Tommy Dreamer told Scott when Kenny came to Impact, this was going to be a problem. Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's going to be a problem. That was a phenomenal match, the one you said. Yeah, see, I'm glad somebody agrees with me. Rory agrees with me that Josh Alexander versus Ace Austin was a very good match. He had a very scary fall, though, towards the end. So anybody else? Does anybody else have a favorite match from tonight or no? The ending sucked. Of course you think the ending sucked, but I think it establishes Kenny as his heel, you know? But fun fact, I think this Impact episode was recorded because the Good Brothers were actually doing a signing here in Cali today between 5 to 7. So there is no way that they would have made it in time, even with the time difference. So I think this match was pre-recorded. All right. Well, that was the Swerve Show Dog said it was recorded. Yeah, see, I knew it because the signing just finished like 30 minutes ago. There was no way they were gonna finish it and hop on a plane and go to Tennessee. All right. Does anybody else have any more thoughts and remarks on tonight's show? I mean. No? Well, I give it a match 8. I give that match an 8.5 because of the ending. Can we Q and as with you? What do you mean? Like a Q&A with me? Why are you giving an 8.5? Are you not happy? I mean, are you happy Josh Alexander defeated questions and answer sessions with you? Like, hola, Swerve Show. What did you think of tonight's show, Swerve? Do you want to hop on and give me your take on this, Swerve, or no? I appreciate all the likes. Oh, please don't forget to leave a like, please. I would really appreciate it. Swerve, do you want to? Okay, Swerve, do you want to hop on and? My owner can save the show. Do you want to hop on? It was a lame show. Why did you think that? I want to hear your opinion. Come on and if I drop the link for your Swerve Show, would you come on? Let me know in the chat. Would you come on and tell me why you thought it was a lame show? I'm so curious to hear your opinion. Really. I'm very curious as to why you think today's show was lame. Okay. No. There you go, Swerve Show. Hop on. Tell me your opinion. Why do you want it? Why do you think it was lame? And please disregard the motorcycle noise in the back. But anywho, while Swerve Show jumps on, and does anybody else think tonight's show was lame, or is it just Swerve Show? Let me know in the chat as to why you thought the show was lame. Okay. I don't know where Rory says everyone needs to join this great channel. I appreciate that, Rory. I really do. I really do appreciate it. So that you can do that, Q. Maybe not at this time, but maybe some other time, Maury. And joining me is my co-host since day one, my the Swerve Show. So why do you think the show was lame tonight?
Um, Too many of their just too many repetitive things, matches that didn't really care for. We had the main event, nobody talking about. Everybody always wants to talk about Raw. All these shows having the same matches, but you had what's his name? The draw Sammy Callahan going against Stevens, Eddie Edwards for the 500th time in a row, and the storylines were just qualifying matches that really didn't do anything except for that Josh Alexander match, him getting over. But I feel like Impact Wrestling used to have good storylines, but they've been taking a back seat for Kenny Omega just to see what Kenny Omega is going to do, and he just promises JJ says, he promises I'm going to do an interview. I'm going to do an interview. He comes out, no interview, and the whole show is dedicated to him. And I feel like the storylines are just taking a back seat.
Shadori agrees with you. He said, lame show. I like the pay-per-view, though.
Yeah, the pay-per-view was good. And just to think, this is Kenny Omega. Yeah, we'll see, man. This is Kenny Omega coming off an Impact victory win. And AEW last night got one of the lowest scores that they shouldn't have after breaking 1 million. And Kenny Omega won the Impact title. So, Impact is it just sucked today. At least my opinion.
I had to say that, like I said earlier, my favorite match of the night was Josh Alexander versus Ace Austin. I thought that was a really, really good match. Really good. And Josh Alexander retained.
There were a couple botches, though, in that where he went for that.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was another thing where he did where it was just sort of like, even after that flip where he landed on his neck, he did like one of those Jeff Hardy moves when he runs and he jumps up on the top turnbuckle and he does a flip and his neck landed like how Brock Lesnar's neck landed on Kurt Angle when he did the shooting star. But then, it looks like Ace Austin's getting a deep push, man, which sucks because he should have had a title, but Tessa Blanchard played everybody.
I guess to me, like the weakest, I guess you could say the weakest part of this was Matt Cardona versus Brian Myers. We didn't need to have that match again.
I forgot about that. They fought last week?
They fought at the pay-per-view. It's basically a reversal of what happened.
50-50 booking with WWE guys.
Swerve, Rory says, Swerve, can you do a test show tonight with him on your channel with StreamYards? 20 to 30 minutes of sports segment.
I'll give it a try. I've been super busy. I've been disheveled today, as you can see on this blog. I wish I could shoot you a message. I probably won't be able to tonight unless you're gonna go on, but maybe this week or something. Just too late tonight right now.
Yeah, definitely. But what did you think? What did you think of What did you think? So you didn't like the ending to the show?
No, we saw them. I saw them fight so many times. It's whatever. What is that gauntlet match? They're like they're filling in all these spots. Chris Bay is in it, and then somebody else made a spot today. Matt Cardona won it. Whoever wins this mystery tournament, what do they get?
No, it was a qualifier match. It was a 6-pack challenge. It's gonna be a 6-pack challenge at Under Siege, and whoever wins this becomes the number 1 contender to face Kenny Omega.
Oh,
so the 3 people that qualified were Matt Cardona, Chris Bay, and Sammy Callahan. Apparently, because according to the Impact Twitter, he won that match by DQ.
And then you'll probably have Moose. Definitely, you'll have Rhino from Violent by Design, and then the 6th person might be probably the guy who lost the title to Kenny Omega, Swan. So
yeah. But who do you think? Okay, like I was saying, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I was saying that I think Sammy Callahan is going to win, and we're going to have Sammy Callahan versus Omega against all odds. Because I honestly think it's going to be Moose versus Omega at Slammiversary. But what do you think?
No, that's a good point. If they're going to go at Slammiversary, I always forget about their main WrestleMania pay-per-view. Sort of like how I forgot about Mid Cardona versus whatever his name was, so they did it again tonight. But that sounds pretty legit. Yeah, to hold off onto it for a bit and just forget about the moves until he wins it at the big one.
Yeah, because like I don't see I because like I don't I think that they're gonna do Hangman versus Omega at All Out. So to me, it doesn't make sense for Omega to lose the title after All Out, like the
Yeah,
Impact title. So that's why I think it's gonna happen at Slammiversary, not at Bound for Glory, unless they have Hangman and Omega at Full Gear. You can stretch it out that long,
yeah, true. Yeah, I agree.
you know.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I appreciate you coming on and helping me out with this reviews for a show.
Yeah, definitely. We had to after a crazy night you and Rose Montana had last week as with the pay per view. We'll just see what happens, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
Impact.
yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone joining me and Swear Show here tonight. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.